Texture is the secret that can make or break a bake, and in this video our chefs pull back the curtain on the mistakes that ruin it. From the temperature trap that destroys delicate cakes to the silent texture killer of opening the oven door, we break down what goes wrong and why. We'll also tackle overmixing and undermixing, ingredient temperature, measurement chaos, pan material choices, and the simple skip of sifting that leaves lumps. By the end, you'll know how to diagnose and fix these errors to get bakery-worthy texture at home. 1. The temperature trap that destroys delicate cakes. Less than P greater than. Ever wondered why your perfectly mixed cake comes out dense as a brick? Most people don't realize it, but incorrect oven temperatures can lead to a whole host of baking problems, including unevenly baked cakes and overbaked, crunchy cookies when the recipe is supposed to make chewy ones. When your oven runs too hot, it creates a harsh crust that seals the outside while leaving the inside raw and gummy. Less than P greater than. The importance of knowing your oven's actual temperature, not what it claims to be, is a drum I constantly beat. Many home ovens will not be at the set temperature by the time the preheat chime goes off. In my case, that usually takes at least an additional 15 minutes, if not more. Think about it like trying to cook a steak on a cold pan. The texture will be all wrong because the heat isn't consistent. Professional bakers swear by oven thermometers because they know that even a 25-degree difference can turn a fluffy sponge into a chewy disaster. Less than P greater than. 2. Opening the oven door. The silent texture killer. Less than P greater than. Opening the oven in the middle of baking can quickly lower the temperature by at least 25 degrees. That innocent peek you take at your rising cake isn't so harmless after all. Certain baked goods, such as cakes, for example, can collapse when you open the oven door as the rush of cold air stops them from rising. In general, cakes, breads, cookies, and other baked goods need constant heat to rise properly. Less than P greater than. Here's what really happens inside your oven when you can't resist that peak. Every time you pop open the oven, hot air escapes and decreases the oven's overall temperature. In the meantime, cold air will rush into the oven, completely changing the overall temperature of the oven. You might be risking a collapsed cake or unevenly cooked baked goods. Professional chefs compare this to opening your front door during winter. All that carefully maintained heat escapes in seconds, and it takes ages to build back up. Less than P greater than. For baked goods, it's recommended to leave the oven door closed for 3/4 of the cooking time. If you decide that your food needs more time after checking, wait between 5 and 10 minutes before opening the oven door again to maintain constant heat. Less than P greater than. 3. The overmixing disaster that creates dense nightmares. Less than P greater than. You may know what you get when you overmix cake batter. A dense cake with tough texture, and maybe some unappetizing gluey streaks as well. But far fewer bakers know that undermixing batter can cause the same or similar results. When you get too aggressive with your mixer, you're essentially building a protein fortress that traps your delicate cake inside. Less than P greater than. As you mix, the gluten strands stretch and organize into a network. The more you mix, the stronger the gluten structure becomes. It's like the difference between a silk scarf and a rope. Both are made from fibers, but one is delicate while the other is tough and chewy. Mixing flour with liquids activates the gluten proteins that give baked goods their structure. Overmixing, therefore, can lead to cookies, cakes, muffins, pancakes, and breads that are tough, gummy, or unpleasantly chewy. Less than P greater than. Mix on low speed. Once you add flour to a mixture, mix on low speed. Stop mixing once flour streaks disappear. Stop your mixer as soon as you no longer see streaks of flour. Mixing any longer is unnecessary and will only make your baked good more dense. Think of it as gentle persuasion rather than forced mixing. Less than P greater than. 4. The sneaky undermixing problem nobody talks about. Less than P greater than. Here's a shocking truth that'll change how you think about mixing forever. Undermixing can yield cakes with dense bottoms, due to lack of gluten development and subsequent weak structure, both of which prevent the cake from rising fully. Extending the mixing time just a bit can solve this problem. Yes, you read that right, sometimes you need more mixing, not less. Less than P greater than undermixing ingredients can lead to a range of issues that affect the texture, structure, and quality of the final product. When ingredients like butter, sugar, or eggs aren't mixed thoroughly, the batter can develop lumps, resulting in an inconsistent texture. It's like trying to build a house with a weak foundation, everything above it suffers. Less than P greater than senior recipe developer Molly Marzalek-Kelly noticed that when the recipe went into cross-testing, some of the testers' cakes had a thin but noticeable layer of heavy gumminess toward the bottom. Professional bakers describe this as hitting pockets of flour that never got properly incorporated. This lack of proper mixing also prevents air from being incorporated into the batter, which is essential for the rise of many sweet treats, including cakes and muffins, often leading to flat bakes. Less than P greater than 5. Ingredient temperature. The make or break factor. Less than P greater than using butter straight from the fridge or eggs too cold can cause uneven textures in baked goods. This isn't just some fussy chef requirement, there's real science behind it. When ingredients are at different temperatures, they don't combine properly, creating a lumpy, separated mess that bakes unevenly. Less than P greater than adding butter straight from the fridge when the recipe specifically states to use room temperature butter may seem like a minor change, but it could cause your bakes to be mixed unevenly, leading to a dense sponge and poor rise. Make sure to read your recipe in advance and take any ingredients, such as butter and eggs, out of the fridge a few hours beforehand if necessary. Less than P greater than think of it like trying to blend oil and water. They just won't cooperate until conditions are right. When a recipe calls for melted butter or room temperature eggs, it's important to take note of those details. As we've mentioned before, baking is all about precision, and you can't substitute melted butter for room temperature butter, and vice versa. It might be tempting to throw your ingredients in the microwave, or just use cold butter, but we can promise you that skipping steps will only hurt the final product. Room temperature ingredients blend together like they were meant to be partners, creating smooth, even batters that bake into perfect textures. Less than P greater than 6. The measurement mayhem that ruins everything. Less than P greater than incorrectly measured ingredients can drastically affect the results, particularly in baking, where precision is key. Scooping flour directly from a bag compacts it, leading to dense products, while undermeasuring liquids results in dry or crumbly outcomes. Imagine trying to build with the wrong proportions of concrete. You'll get either a crumbly mess or something hard as a rock. Less than P greater than my first question for home bakers is always, do you weigh your ingredients? I believe that using a scale is the single most important thing you can do to set yourself up for success. Weight is more precise than volume. How much of an ingredient you get into a measuring cup can vary based on how packed the ingredient is, the way you scooped it, and the cup itself. Less than P greater than even measuring cups with the same advertised volume can hold varying amounts. In the case of flour, that variation can be as much as 20%, depending on the baker, according to America's Test Kitchen. In baking, even small variations in flour or sugar, especially when amplified across multiple cups, can be the difference between success and failure. Professional bakers treat their scales like sacred tools because they know that texture depends on precise ratios. If you accidentally add an extra 1/3 cup of flour into your cake batter, your cake might be crumbly and taste like a brick. That's why it's so important to measure all of your ingredients correctly. Less than P greater than 7. The pan material mistake that changes everything. Less than P greater than my response. Was she using a glass baking dish? Bingo. Since then, I've pinpointed this as the reason a reader's carrot bread was raw in the middle, among other instances. This revelation shocked many home bakers who thought all pans were created equal. Less than P greater than glass is slow to heat. Metal heats up faster. With glass or ceramic, the slower transfer of heat means foods will take longer to bake than those in metal. It's like the difference between a sports car and a heavy truck. They both get you there, but at completely different speeds and with different results. Less than P greater than if you pull out a cake, or even a batch of brownies or blondies, when the faster setting edges seem done, the middle may still be raw. If you wait for the middle to be done once the heat finally penetrates, the edges will probably be overcooked. They may continue to dry out as the pan cools, too, because of the heat retention. Professional chefs know that dark pans absorb heat, resulting in darker browning. Light, shiny pans reflect heat, resulting in lighter browning. The texture difference can be dramatic, like comparing a perfectly toasted marshmallow to one that's burnt on the outside and raw inside. Less than, P greater than. 8. The sifting skip that creates lumpy disasters. Less than P greater than skipping sifting for dry ingredients, such as cocoa powder, powdered sugar, or baking soda, often results in uneven distribution and clumps in the final product. This step is particularly crucial for achieving smooth batters and even rises in cakes and muffins. Those little lumps might seem harmless, but they create pockets of concentrated flavor and uneven texture that can ruin an otherwise perfect cake. Less than P greater than sifting aerates the ingredients, incorporating air that contributes to light and fluffy textures. While it may seem unnecessary, this step ensures even mixing and consistency in baked goods, preventing textural issues and ensuring a more professional quality finish. Less than P greater than one common cooking mistake that often goes overlooked is neglecting to sift dry ingredients, even when the recipe specifically calls for it. Sifting serves a crucial purpose in baking by aerating the dry ingredients and removing any clumps or impurities that may affect the final texture of the dish. Think of sifting like fluffing a pillow. You're creating air pockets that make everything lighter and more comfortable. Professional bakers consider this step as essential as preheating the oven because they understand how those tiny air bubbles translate into superior texture. Less than P greater than.